Kristen with Nerdette's NewsStand, and this is the 5th time I've done my Nerdette premiere, or whatever you want to call it. I feel kind of cringy saying it out loud, but every single time I have talked superheroes, DC Comics, something along those lines, right? Well, we're going to change it up a little bit, and I was sent this article about Johnny Depp, and I want to talk about it in a little bit more detail than I could in a normal video. They've been getting longer and longer and longer and longer. So I try to save the long ones for Fridays. But my God, this couldn't be more apparent what this woman is doing when it comes to this. Now, if you research her, if you actually look up who she is, and her name is Tatiana Siegel, you get things like I hate Johnny Depp tweets, and you get an article that is 100% a fluff piece, is the best way to put it, about Amber Heard and how brave, how stunning, how wonderful she is. Now, if you look up this woman on her social media, you can see for 4 or 5 years now, she has not liked Johnny Depp. So to be writing something like this and not even labeling it an op-ed is very weird to me. But the intent of this whole thing was not to educate. It was to defame. It was a very biased, unhonest op-ed. And it's really long. I'm actually surprised. There's a lot of weird comparisons and a lot of sourceless material. And what I mean by that is there's a couple times within here she says, well, my source said this. I had a source that told my source that told his source that Johnny Depp said the N-word. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, right? It's absolutely ridiculous about how much her bias is there, and it's not even clearly labeled. Like, all right, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. It should be fun, right? So anyways, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. As always, on Fridays, sometimes Saturdays or Sundays when I'm late, because I'm always late. I'm always late. I do a premiere that is a longer format video, and every single day I make content. So, he is radioactive inside Johnny Depp's self-made implosion. Dun, dun, dun. It's so dramatic, right? There's going to be a little bit of reading. You know, I hate doing that. I hate finding an article and simply reading it to you guys. I try to absorb it and then kind of reiterate it in my own words. Today, we can't do that. We got to get exactly what she said. So she says it wasn't just erratic and violent behavior that wrecked one of the world's most bankable stars. It was his unquenchable thirst for revenge. Like, this sounds like a movie plot. So you know what? Let's do a little experiment here, okay? Experiment time. Revenge, the action of inflicting hurt or harm on someone or an injury, a wrong suffered at their hands. Okay? I think we all know what revenge is and what it implies. Let's look at vindication. An action of clearing someone of blame or suspicious. I think, just in my opinion, and I am not a journalist, that is more likely. He wasn't seeking revenge. He didn't seek to hurt her. He didn't seek to put any sort of physical harm. What he sought was his reputation back. And that's what these people, they understand. They just, play dumb. But there's no revenge here. There's no revenge. It's simply getting a name cleared for somebody that was falsely accused of very, very heinous things. And not only that, but by doing that, he also clears the trivialization she did to real victims of domestic violence. But I digress. So let's take a look. It says, in the face of mourning bad publicity, Johnny could still count on one hand Friendly Industry Group, a Polish film festival. Now, this is going to talk about Minamata and everything surrounding it. He was supposed to show up We all kind of saw the picture, right? With him behind bars. I'll try to find it before I edit. And he didn't show up. Oh, okay. Johnny, right now, and this was on November 21st, so it was relatively recently. Can you imagine walking into the public light as Johnny Depp right now and being asked questions by the media, being asked different things, whether it was about the UK court, about Amber, anything? As a journalist, that is what they'll go for, right? They're not going to throw softballs. They're going to try to hit them a little bit below the belt and see what kind of information or reaction they can get from him. So, of course, he didn't show up. Of course, he didn't show up. Like, it absolutely kind of makes sense that he didn't show up. So it says, Depp's absence offered a fitting denouement. What is that word? Denouement? I don't know. Okay. To a month of reputational and career deprivation. On November 2nd, right, he lost. Now, I want to talk about this just a little bit because there's a lot of stuff that I haven't personally covered because of the fact that we don't have 100% sources. I know I cover rumors sometimes, but I try to be fair. So if I know there are clear connections and I'm not just taking your word for it, I will cover something. But because I don't have those sources personally, I won't cover something like this. But to give a TLDR, the son of the Judge Nichols, works for Rupert Murdoch, who owns the Sun, right? There's also very questionable connections to Amber's lawyer with Justice Nicole. So, these things should have been some sort of conflict of interest, yet they weren't. And I'm not exactly sure why. I do have a little bit of a theory, okay? Johnny obviously lost, but could he have kind of planned this? Could he have kind of known this was going to happen? That way he could go to a different court. That way he could lose on purpose to go to the Court of Appeals. I know that's not probably the case, but going to a higher court will only help him. And that's exactly what he's done. He has gone to the Court of Appeals. Now, they do go on to talk about, oh my God, Warner Brothers they absolutely should have fired him before this. Yeah, there's a way about these people. It's an entitlement complex. They need to make enemies to feel like they can go on with their day. And by making enemies, they can cancel people, right? Oh, Warner Brothers should have done this. We should boycott Warner Brothers. You know what? So many people are, whether it's because of HBO Max or because of Amber Heard or because of Animaniacs. Okay. Unfortunately, you making enemies doesn't help your situation trying to come off as a sane person in this, because you're not at all. All right, let's look at this one. It says, there are a few examples of a movie star implosion of Depp's magnitude that have been so sudden and spectacular. You're literally saying his implosion is spectacular. You realize, you're supposed to say Christmas is spectacular, not someone's life being ruined. Anyway, so during the height of his stardom, 13-year stretching ending in 2016, Depp earned some $650 million, including $55 million from his profit participation on 2010's Alice in Wonderland that, Disney made bank on, $1.03 billion. For Minamata, which opens February 21st, he was just paid $3 million. Bitch, if I was paid $3 million for anything, I think I'd be okay. Don't act like that's nothing. You know what sucks too is that $650 million you were talking about, he lost. Do you realize you're picking at scabs and making them bleed on purpose? It's kind of gross, but maybe you're a scab eater, who knows? So the claims made in 6 recent suits, along with multiple interviews conducted by the Hollywood Reporter, paint a picture of an out-of-control Depp, a casualty of Hollywood sycophants culture, in which his wild spending and substance abuse were rarely challenged. Or as one producer who worked, notice there's going to be no names, okay? One producer who worked on a recent Depp project notes, he's just never been told no for the past 35 years. That's typical in Hollywood, but I've never seen it to this extent. November 2020 simply offered the punctuation, and you showed your card. You know what a poker face is, Tatiana? It's when you're able to lie well, right? You just showed your cards to everybody. You just turned them around and showed them to everybody. During the trial, one thing that Amber said over and over and over again is the fact that he has never been told, and he is surrounded by yes men. He has never been told no, and people wait on him day and night. Where did you get your sources, honey? It's literally the same thing we heard months ago at the trial. You showed your hand. I mean, it's that easy. It's done. It's over with. If this was Mortal Kombat, it would be time to finish him. But, it's not. Unfortunately, that would be fun, right? So, anyways, so it says, though unlikely, created on a creative, Minamata appears to be something of a career humbling. Actually, it looks beautiful. It looks a lot more artistic than what I've seen from the likes of Captain Jack Sparrow or Alice in Wonderland. There's nothing wrong with those roles, but this to me feels very, I guess the word would be humbling, right? It feels very small. It feels very intimate. It feels like a more personal side of him. That's the way I should describe it. So, you talk about CAA. I think CAA is actually pretty upset with HBO Max right now, maybe even suing them. So, anyways, it says, instead, CAA insisted that the Japan set drama be helmed by an experimental sculptor turned editor with only one unreleased family drama lullaby to his credit, Andrew Levatus, who unusually for an indie player, albeit one of the impressive careers as an artist, has top industries. Okay, you know what? I don't care. Let's look at something that's actually interesting. Okay, let's go to the next one. Though things won't likely improve for Depp anytime soon, thanks to the havoc wrought in the UK trial. Pick any spot in Justice Nicole's 132-page ruling. Have you read that? Have you read that? I'm just curious because it is so biased. It is like, Amber, I wish I could stick your toes in my mouth bias. It's really, really bad. He basically believed everything that came out of that woman's mouth, even though there was audio to the contrary. He basically believed everything she said, even though she admitted on stand to hitting him. It's a mess. It's worth reading because you can see the bias, but yeah, it's bad. So she says, and you're bound to land on an embarrassing detail. Oh my God, so embarrassing. So along the low light of the text appears, okay, we're going to not go over CAA agent. What she's going to go over again, is the fact that Johnny sent texts to Paul Bentley, that we're bad, that we're mean. Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Like, come on. These were simply a man venting to his friend. I'm sorry, that shit happens all the time. And even in worse degrees, but he's venting about his wife, and she purposefully leaves out, and I wish I would have got it before doing this, but she purposefully leaves out the last one where he's like, I could never do this. I could never take it out on the ones I love. She literally leaves that out because that's the last one and it would not fit her narrative. She also brings up the fact, again, of the let's burn Amber, right? I mean, people are allowed to talk to each other. These are things that would normally be in private. So if you're venting to a friend, isn't it better than yelling at your significant other? It makes sense to me. Like, Some people just don't have more than 2 brain cells, though. So, not only that, but she does talk about how allegedly, Johnny wanted her replaced in the WB film. Now, he did actually write that in a text, right? But yeah, I do too. I'm literally going to admit it. I want Amber replaced in the WB film Aquaman. It's okay. Did the world end? Is everybody still alive? Like, it's okay. Obviously. And guess what? I bet you she wanted him replaced in Fantastic Beasts. Only she got her way. She seems to do that a lot. I bet her knees are padded, right? So he has suffered immense reputational carnage from a reckless set of choices that have left him in a septic muck. This is Eric Schiffer, a crisis PR rep who works for CAA, right? So, which is a huge talent agency. He has come out of that. It really comes down to Johnny's choices. He still has a fan base that, this is what was in my comment section. I'm sorry. I'll try to find it before I edit. If you left this here, let me know, because I'll put a pinned comment. But you told me about how he compared Johnny Depp to Donald Trump. Okay, I'll read the whole quote before I react, because some people won't like my reaction. So it says, he still has a fan base that in many ways is like Donald Trump, with their emotional intensity and commitment to a star icon. It's not based around principles. It's about charisma and their identification of the range of characters that he has played. Okay, so for one, you're saying he has a dedicated fan base. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Are Trump supporters dedicated? Yep. So he doesn't actually compare him to Trump. He's comparing the supporters, right? Trump supporters are very, very dedicated. That's okay. That's a good comparison. It's not that it's not based on principles. It's that you see the real principle. You see actually what happened by doing your own research. And that's how a lot of people end up being Trump supporters, right? Because they see on CNN time and time. Okay, I'm not going to keep going. But again, it's Orange Man Bad TV, right? So they see it time again that this happened or this happened. They don't actually see CNN reporting any sort of news unless it's about Donald Trump's tweets. They don't report any news on anything contrary to their narrative. So what do we see from Johnny Depp supporters? They've done their research. They've seen CNN or the mainstream media report against people like Johnny Depp. And they know the truth. That is the best compliment you could give someone. I'm sorry, but it is. If you are being brainwashed by mainstream media and you actually open your eyes, do your own research, that kind of thing, and you come to the realization that you've been lied to and manipulated for so long and end up supporting somebody like Johnny Depp, that's not a bad thing. That shows your maturity level. That shows your intelligence level. That shows that you are willing to not just absorb, but actually go out there, put the time in, and look up and listen to audio and read court documents. It's not a bad thing at all. I don't see this as a bad thing at all. It's just saying you've opened your eyes. He was meaning it as a bad thing because, Orange Man Bad, got to get that jab in there. But it's not. It's not at all. So now we're going to go on to talk about, oh boy. Oh my God, guys. Guess what? He does drugs. Drugs are fun. He does them. Like, okay. This was like half of the trial, right? This was literally like, here's a picture of him passed out because he took this. Here's a picture of him with some ice cream. Here's a picture of his lines that I totally didn't set up. And this isn't my coffee thing. And, that's not my tampon applicator. That's not mine. What are you kidding? Johnny Depp uses tampons. Yeah, that is no joke. That is literally what this whole thing's about. Even so much that, he sliced off his own finger. Okay. All right. You have no proof of this. Again, this is a perfect case for libel. There's no I don't think there is. Let me look. I don't see any allegedly. I could be wrong. I'd have to look better, but it does talk about different allegations, but it doesn't in here. So we also have somebody, we don't know who, a studio head. Guess what? A studio head told me Johnny Depp's a super nice guy and he's always into sunshine and rainbows and glitter, and he loves Brat Styles and My Little Pony. See how that works? I can make shit up too. It's literally what it is, right? Like, you can't prove it, so why should I believe you? You just don't. So he says, you simply can't work with him now. He's radioactive. Okay. Like, what does that get you making up? How does that further anything that you've said? How does a unsubstantiated source help? It simply doesn't. It actually makes you look really, really bad by not giving a source name. Anybody can make up a source. We've actually seen people do it all the time. They make YouTube videos, right? Oh, I heard from my source that, what was the most recent one? That Batman guy is fat and now he can't run. And now, oh, wait, the next day, like, pictures show up. Like, anybody can do this. It's not just a journalist. Anybody can put a camera on themselves and be like, hey, guess what? I heard that Amber Heard likes to have sex with dogs. Like, it's just, okay, you get my point here. I'm not going to keep going. So they do go on to talk, about all the money he has been paid and what he's getting paid now. They go back over this shit like, okay. So it says one studio executive who has worked with Depp in recent years says his inner demons had long ago bled into his professional life, making him a huge liability, thanks to the frequent tardiness and costly behavior, all categorized in the UK suit. The discovery that came out in the trial alone would be enough to scare any studio. Maybe. But here's the thing. Johnny Depp is Hollywood royalty. Whether you like it or not, he's Hollywood royalty, just as is Uma Thurman or Leonardo DiCaprio. These are people that have been around, proven themselves time and time again. So your words of some unnamed studio executive holds no weight. Maybe he can't get a job. I find it very unlikely. I find it much more likely that a studio executive would be willing to roll with Johnny after seeing all of the stuff with Savage. Don't worry, they bring that up and they're like, Savage is still using him. I know I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. Oh my God, how dare they? Like, it's just a canceling tactic that these people do. But yeah, I don't know what you think that you're going to help here. I think it's more likely that it's just going to make you look silly. And I have a feeling it probably does. So another person, goes on here, right? And, they say the abuse and drinking and drugging are one thing. Certainly horrible. But then to top it off by going after the very people who the closest business and personal relationship for years shows a level of toxicity we've rarely seen, says one studio figure who has faced off with Depp. Names or didn't happen. Names or it didn't happen. If they really were never going to hire him again, why would they be afraid to say anything? We've seen a lot of people come out in his defense. But if they were willing to tell you in an interview, if he's this bad in Hollywood, if he's toxic and radioactive and drugs and sex and then why wouldn't they be afraid to say anything? There would be no backlash if that were the truth. Oh, it's because it's fake. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. So I'm trying to find this one part I seen earlier that talks about Oh, where is it? So they do go on to talk a little bit about Adam Waldman and what a bad man he is, and he's already been kicked off the trial, and how dare he? Okay, we've been through this. It was actually better. What he did was actually better. He leaked evidence, right? He leaked the audio recordings of Amber admitting to, I didn't hit you, babe, or I didn't punch you, babe, I hit you. Okay. If, and he took one for the team, right? He took one for the team by saying, this is Amber. This is who she really is. Look. And he got a lot on his side with that case because people were able to see the real side and now realize that he wasn't a bad guy. We got to go over this part though. Okay. So it says the City of Lies crew member. So, also is scheduled to go to trial early in the new year, depending on COVID. Even before Waldman entered the picture, Depp was engaged on legal drama on all fronts. Much of playing it out to the public eye. Here we go. Sources say he paid his first wife, Lori Allison, $1.25 million to keep her mouth shut after he allegedly went on a long rant in which he repeatedly used the N-word. Okay. This is where I'm out, right? Like, this is about the third or fourth unsubstantiated source, and now you're trying to. Here's what they're doing. Okay. They're taking their magical SJW paintbrush, right? And the first one, they're like, okay, so this is misogyny, and they wipe it across the board. And now they're like, okay, well, what else can we do? We can say he's bad professional. They wipe that across the board. And then they're like, well, what else can we do? We can say he's gone downhill in money, and he associates with bad people. Oh, shit, I got it. Let's call him motherfucking racist. Let's call him a racist, because that'll work. Because everybody hates racist. Because that's what that's their tactic with everything. They call anybody a racist. Like they call just some guy a white supremacist. Not obviously the same person, but I'm just saying, when you're black and you can be a white supremacist now, it doesn't make any sense. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And the fact that you are printing this shows you give no fucks if you get sued. So guess what? I think it's about time all of the allegations start to be. Journalism died a long time ago, right? Journalism died a long time ago. People need to be responsible a little bit for false accusations that are, character ending. Maybe at one day they'll be able to. We saw with the, oh my God, what's that guy? I forget. When the Covington kid, right? He actually got some results when people defamed him. People need to be responsible for what they say. So if you're telling me that, he is being hidden because of $1.25 million to keep, his ex-wife because he said the N-word, I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe you whatsoever. I think it is time to actually just stop writing, right? Just completely. It's over. Your career is over. So anyways, I wanted to go over this in long format. There's literally so much more. So much more. We could probably do this in an entire long live stream, but they printed it online and they put it in their little happy-go-lucky book and compare him to Mel Gibson, and he's a terrible person. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He did this. Yeah, okay. All right, I totally believe you. Sources, or it didn't happen. I challenge you, Tatiana, but it won't happen because you're a joke. So anyways, of course, let me know what you guys think about this. This is insane. I can't believe they printed something so they even asked him, they reached out to him, right? And asked if he would comment on it. Yeah, I'm going to fucking comment on that shit. Sure. Okay. All right. Well, let me know, of course, what you guys think. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Paws, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Ruskar, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.